All right, so how do you price your stuff? And it's funny because I've been in the WordPress space for a very, very, very long time. And I've noticed that pricing, not just in WordPress, but literally everywhere, has been getting crazy, 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 crazy. I've already spoken about my frustrations with Thrive themes and how they charge $600 a month, not a month, $600 a year, but they want to lure you in with the $299 price. But oh, I forgot to, you know, cancel my subscription, and then next thing you know, you get hit with the $599 charge on your card. So, I mean, I'm going to go over that. I'm going to go over that today because I think it's important that in the WordPress space, in the AI space, and in just the developer space, as a person, as a consumer who purchases things, it's important that whether you're making an app or building the new software or whatever it is you're doing, that you really nail down who your audience is. Now, I talked to somebody recently about pricing, and it was a good, interesting conversation because we were just talking about, when is a good time to, separate the product or combine the product or leave it as is, and what different tiers do you put the products on, and what's a good pricing. So I'm just going to kind of share my personal view on pricing and knowing your audience from who I was to who I am today and to what I'm doing. Now, there's different types of audiences, right? There's different types of consumers, especially in the WordPress world or the online world that you want to appeal to. Of course, there's these crazy coaching programs that want to charge you like $10,000 and $20,000, and everybody has to save up their pennies to just do it. But those are more than likely targeting a specific type of person, a specific type of business owner. So let's just break this down. All right, three types of audiences or purchasers or consumers that you might want to appeal to for your next project. Let's go. The first one is the hobbyist. The hobbyist or the solopreneur. They're not a $1 million company, okay? It's probably just somebody who's putting together a side hustle to earn a couple extra bucks to do some extra things. Now, you got to think this person probably works full time, may have a family, may not have a family, depending on the age bracket that you're in. Probably pays rent or a mortgage if they have a house, and just has a lot of things going on. So a lot of the times that this person, we'll just call the hobbyist avatar, this person doesn't have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to spend per month, and they're doing something maybe as a freelancer or just something, like I said, a side hustle, where they're just trying to earn a couple bucks here and there, and they're looking at all of these tools. Let's just use the WordPress arena, and they're saying, what can I use to just have fun, to do the thing that I want to do, and to do it well, but without breaking the bank, because I'm really just kind of playing around with these things. I may have one or two clients, and I'll be honest, that's kind of me today. I'll get to who I was 15, 10 years ago, whatever. But that's me today. I'm more of a hobbyist. I have the knowledge and the background of all these things. But honestly, I don't want to spend $600 on Thrive themes every year. It's not worth it to me. Even though I do the business, if I do $600 a month for that, not a month, a year, and then that month that thing comes out, that's a huge hit on me just playing around with stuff and doing things internally and just wanting to have fun, right? The hobbyist. I want to play with it. I want to see how it works and maybe build a site or two for somebody just to get it out there. So I'm not going to commit to that $600 a month price tag. What feels more comfortable in that range, anything between, I'd say, $10 and $50 a month is good. $50 is a little more on the high end, depending on what you're receiving and the value that you're getting. Because, I mean, let's be honest, if you create a product, you think it's the greatest thing in the world, right? Like, I'm going to charge $1,000 a month because this thing is incredible. But you kind of have to reel it back and just really share what's the perceived value of this thing that I'm getting. Does it do the same thing that 30 other things do? And am I charging accordingly? Am I in competition with these other businesses that are charging those same prices? Or do I do more? And if I do more, is it clearly communicated that that thing that I do more is worth the value that I'm putting behind it? In my opinion, something like, I know I'm picking on Thrive Themes a lot because it's the one that just kind of comes to mind, but they charge $600. And the question is the thing that they do worth that $600 price tag year after year after year? And yeah, they have a lot of cool stuff, but I mean, let's be honest. The main thing that people are using is the builder and probably their course thing, I'm assuming, maybe. I don't know. I would say, I don't have the statistics here, so I'm just guessing. But I would probably say that their main thing is the architect, right? Thrive Architect is their builder. That's what they're building out. And then they tax on the suite of plugins to do everything else. But again, they lack that innovation. They're not really going towards where the industry is going. There's no AI in it yet, unless they're working on it behind the scenes. There's just a lot of things lacking on it. And then on the other hand, you have something like Beaver Builder, who is being more innovated, and they have a good price tag on their, I'd say, hobbyist type of platform. I think it's $80 for the year. That is a doable. It's almost like, I don't know if anybody's read Alex Hermosi's, um, I have it right here. Hold on. The $100 million offers. One of the things he says in there is just make an offer that is just so obvious that people can't say no to. In the hobbyist world, $80 a year, yeah, that's something that's like, I can't say no to that. It does everything I need, comes with everything I want, and it's only $80 a year. We're good. If you charge me $600, I'm going to say, no, that's not it. Mosaic is another one. I like what they're doing. They're giving you the entire first year for free. So you can even determine if it's something you like or not. And then I think they start also at like really affordable, cheaper prices. I think it's under $100 if you want like a single license or a three tier license. When it starts getting over that, you're alienating that audience that really just wants to use something either personally for themselves or, again, maybe make a site or two a year just to do it. It's tough. It's tough when you're in that space because I know business, you always have to begin to make money. You always have to show profit. In America, it's always about growth, 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 growth. What's the next thing that we're doing to grow? What's the next thing that we're building? And we are in the AI space. So if you're not integrating AI into your software or your SaaS somehow, you're missing out. So get on that. And don't just integrate it. Find a good way to put it together. Um, but yeah, so that's the hobbyist era. I would say anything $100 or less a year is good. Or if you're gonna do monthly, maybe between $10 and $30 a month. Like if you do a $29 a month price tag, that's fine to keep up because that's just like, going out to lunch twice a month or something like that. Once you start getting into $50, $100 a month, it's still doable, but you're kind of losing that just casual person who just has some, extra funds and wants to do it on. Because don't forget, like, especially if you're in the web space, that's not the only expense. They still have to pay for hosting. If your builder doesn't come with a theme, they still have to pay for a theme. They still have to pay for other things that are required for them to build whatever they're building. I know for me, it's hosting. I have to pay for the database that I'm using. I have to pay for the tools and the software. I pay a subscription to Claude, and I have a couple other things that I pay for. And those things begin to add up. And what's great though is that they stick within that range. This is why I love what Claude and ChatGPT did. They're like, look, $20 a month, and you can use it. If you want to be the pro version, it's $100 a month. And then if you get Super Max Pro, whatever, it's $200 a month. But those are power users. It's like meant for a specific audience. So know your audience, that hobbyist person. Maybe they want to do 3 to 5 projects a year and they'll pay $100. Maybe even push it to like 150 if it's a really good product. but like that's the max. Like you're pushing it. If you start pricing things out of that, you're getting out of that huge base of people that just want to try. The solopreneurs, the side hustlers, the hobbyists, I already said it. The people that just want to do something or try something out at least for the first year or the first few months. These 7-day trials, I'm sorry, those are just useless. You can't really get a feel for something in 7 days, but that's it. So that's the hobbyist. And then you move on to the next user. And this next user is going to be the purist, right? The one that takes all of these things to heart, takes it seriously. This is community. I'm going to build everything from scratch. The code needs to be perfect. The this, the that, blah, 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 blah. And they want all of the control, and they want all of those things. Like those guys are the ones. That's where I used to be. That make a career out of freelancing, or a career out, or a small. I would say more on the freelancing side, where they're consistently marketing themselves to get work done. These people are, you can charge a little more because they're doing more work. They're more integrated into what they're doing. They're not the hobbyist. They're more serious about their marketing, how they build, what they build. And with these, you can then kind of tend to raise the price a little more because they're using it as a part of their business. So when you go from personal to business, you're always going to have a huge jump in the price. Personal is always going to be something more on the low end. This is just for me. This is just what I want to do. Then when you start going into business, now you can start going to the $100 a month, $50 a month, $200-$300 a year, whatever it is, $600 a year, depending on what the product is. You're getting more into that realm because it becomes more affordable, because I'm not paying, or the person isn't paying out of their pocket to pay for these things. The business is generating income. And when that business is generating income, they're able to just pay for the business expenses. At that point, the expense just becomes a write-off, and it's not really a big deal. So you're getting more into those what's the word? The pricing tiers of, I would say, $50 and up a month. And then for the year, anywhere from $250 and up a year. And I think $250 is probably on the low end. Again, depending on the value that you're giving, depending on what you're putting out there, because some stuff just isn't like good, and then it's overcharged. And then when you overcharge for something that isn't that good, or if you overcharge for something that ends up that I can do everywhere else, it's not going to bring that perceived value in it. And you could spend the marketing, and you're definitely going to get people to buy it, but there's just easier solutions. And this has to constantly be in your mind when you're creating a product. Can I build this with AI? Can I build what you're building with AI? Is it simple enough for me to do that? And that's something you really have to take into consideration, because if you're charging for a product that I can build in 4 hours with AI, then you kind of have to weigh who your audience is, and how you're going to be charging for that. So, but that's just the second tier. It's the ones that take that career seriously, the freelancers, the web developers that have multiple clients, that are constantly marketing and looking for other clients, and they want to build anywhere from 5 to 25 and up websites a year. And that's where you want to be. And then the third tier is going to be the agencies. Now, you really have to think about this, because an agency employs people, okay? If they employ somebody for, let's say, $40 an hour, or they're paying them $50,000-$60,000 a year, whatever it is they're paying them, that means they're generating the income to pay this person to do that work. Now, when you're going into agency type pricing, this is where you can really boost the price up. And I think I see a lot of these companies, like these WordPress companies, that they just have this weird variable pricing in their thing. They go from like I don't know, it's like $100 to $200, and then it's like $400 for agency. And it's like, dude, agencies have money, okay? If they're able to hire somebody for, let's say, let's put it on the low end, let's say for 30 grand a year, 30 grand a year to hire somebody to do the work, to use the tools that you are including in the agency. You have to like kind of reverse engineer this. If the tool that you're creating is able to either replace an employee or make that employee as efficient as 2 employees or 3 employees, now you're talking agency pricing, or they call it enterprise, but I wouldn't even call it enterprise, because enterprise, you're on a whole nother level. Agency pricing, you're at this level of like 5 grand and up. 5 grand and up. I'm sorry. Like, that could be the price. If you're an agency and you want like 1,000 websites, 5 grand, 5 grand and up. If this tool is so um, useful to you that you don't have to hire 4 more people. And let's just do the math. If you're going to hire 4 more people and you were going to pay them a salary of $30,000 a year, that means you were already willing to pay what's 30 times 4? 30, 69, $120,000 for that year. And that's just on 1099, because if they're employees, then you got to pay taxes, W-2s, social, all that stuff, right? So now your tool is replacing those people, and they were going to spend 120,000, and now you come in with a tool and you're charging them like $1,000 a year. That's crazy. that's crazy. So when I see like $1,000 for agency stuff, it's almost like that's not really for agency. That's kind of for like the just really busy freelancer, right? Like the freelancer maybe is doing 25 sites a year, charging, I mean, let's say on the low end, $1,000 per website. That's 25 grand that they're spending. And then they just spend $1,000 on a tool. That's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal. I think it's all how you kind of put the perspective and the thought process and how these pricings get out there. Hobbyist, low end. Freelancer, just making a career out of this. You're in that little middle tier of like, 250 to maybe 800 a year because they're consistent. Agency, you're 1,000 and up, 2,000 and up, like you're going up. And again, just take this with a grain of salt. I'm just wanting you to get you to kind of think a little differently on how the pricings line up and who your audience is. You might only go after agencies, right? And then you found a bread and butter price tag that works. Good, do it. But just know who you're dealing with. Just know the people that you're talking to. Just know if that person was ready to spend 120 grand on 4 employees and you're coming in at $1,000 a year, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. And as a business owner, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to say, "Oh, I was just going to hire 4 people, but your tool saved me and I only paid $500." No, no. Got to know your audience. You got to know your audience. And this is for, I would say, just for any project, any SaaS project, um anything that you are building that you're looking to charge a monthly fee for. I think the broadest audience is the hobbyist. This is why ChatGPT and Claude and all of them charge $20 a month, and it's a no-brainer. For $20 a month, I can build, I can do all of these things. No brainer. Price your stuff like it's a no brainer. If you're already, and that's for me, because I think that's the biggest audience, because there's, this economy is crazy. This economy is crazy, man. Have you gone grocery shopping recently? It's nuts. Everything costs a fortune now. So you just gotta be wise about that pricing. So I hope, this is just my insight. I mean, if you're running something, I'd love to hear your opinions on the matter, and keep the comments positive. I don't know. Everybody wants to argue about something. Don't argue. We're all good. We're all good here. These are just my random opinions and thoughts and things that I've seen. And I've talked to, some heavy hitters in the WordPress game. And this is definitely something that they think about often. So that's my 2 cents on pricing. And if you like it, awesome. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment. If you don't like it, that's all cool. That's okay. That's okay. give me a thumbs up anyway. Leave a comment, and maybe we can keep this conversation because I know pricing is a pretty big deal. So that's it. God bless. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.